Hey, my people, we are in 2024. I have already done a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day video, um, and now we're here to kick off a new year with a video, for UFC. Very early, I know, but better earlier than late. And yeah, let's get it going. Got a lot of closing line value on this card. A lot of cancellations. Some of them I actually had some money on it, so I'm a little bit cheesed. Gabriel Santos was a good one. I was gonna make good free money there. But let's start off with Felipe Bunes versus Joshua Van. Interesting fight. I do think Joshua Van is the better of the two fighters. I think Joshua Van has a better boxing. Um, I think he has a better chin, better fight IQ, can mix it up pretty good. Doesn't just get caught on bottom a whole lot. I really like him here. Um, to be honest, I just, I just really like this. I just really like this spot. I think this is a really good spot. I think Joshua Van, he mixes in the calf kicks. Um, I think outside of the spinny shit from Bunes, some decent submissions, some some KO power. I think he's unorthodox and he could cause some problems for Van. But for the most part, other than a finish, I do think Van should win this fight. Should cover his line. I do think the line's pretty accurate, and I do think Joshua Van wins this fight by second round TKO. It's a very interesting card. I really think this is a great fight to start it. So, yeah, his last fight with Kevin Borjas was truly awesome. But that's the reason I'm a little bit hesitant here. I might just play for one unit because honestly, Joshua Van's good and all, but first round's always scary. He got caught in the first round last fight, dropped, and Bunes can crack. So very dangerous first for the first round, but I do think Joshua Van can rally and win this fight and either win a decision or get a later finish. Yeah, he's faced good competition in his career to start, so I expect another win here from Mr. Joshua Van. Moving on, we have Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan, he's a big prospect out of Australia. He has lost before, so he's not untouchable. But man, is he good! I do think this guy has excellent striking, some good grappling to fall back on. Um, honestly, I think I think it's his size and length is going to be a big problem for Motta, who likes to counter. I think I think he has some good striking, good cardio, some decent durability as well. Um, I do worry about his defense, like his defense for striking. And he's not very disciplined with it. But I do think he's a very good striker, and I do think he should be able to cover his line. I got him at a really good line at negative 148. He's sitting at like over negative 300 now. So I was actually very tempted to arbitrage, but the only way Nicolas Motta wins is by KO. So I'll most likely just arbitrage by KO if anything. But yeah, I like Tom Nolan here. I think he covers the line. I think he wins, but I just wouldn't play him at this number for personally. Maybe as like a parlay builder, but I'm on Tom Nolan here, but I do think Nicolas Motta has a puncher's chance, a very legit puncher's chance. Moving on, this should be a showcase fight for Tom Nolan and get Nicolas Motta his walking papers. He should have lost his last fight, and what's his name again? Trevin Ogden got robbed. Moving on, we got Weston Wilson versus Gene Silva. Gene Silva is a very, very aggressive fighter. He was barking in his last fight. He fought, I can't even remember who he fought in his last fight. Kevin Valajos. He put on a really good performance. Valajos is definitely someone, the UFC was watching out for as well. So to beat a prospect like that in the manner he did, very impressive. Fighting out the fighting nerds. Got a good corner behind him. Whereas Weston Wilson fights out of Stephen Wonderboy's camp, karate background. This guy has no good wins, if any, at all. Does not belong in the UFC at all. He's gonna get finished in the first round badly. It should be easy. Not even a question. Not even like biggest lock on the card. It's not even fair at this point. Moving on. Fareed Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. Lapilus is a very, very talented fighter, but he's French and he does not like to be in scrambles, whereas Free can scramble all day. I think he's going to outwork him in the grappling exchanges, win with top control, ground and pound, potentially get a finish on the ground, and just show that there's levels to this game. I do think Taylor, if it stays on the feet, can keep it close, but I just don't think he'll have the opportunity to keep it on the feet. I do like his movement, but I do think Fareed is just too smart, too skilled for this for Taylor Lapilus. I do think Lapilus is good, but Basharat is better. I'm gonna go with Basharat by unanimous or split decision. I think that's a more pretty safe bet. I do think Fareed wins. Split decision is only because of optics, but yeah. Moving on, we have Marcus McGhee versus Gaston Bolanos. So this is another one I got some really good closing line value on. Got him at negative 140, McGhee, whereas he's sitting at a higher number now, negative 300, negative 200. I can't remember. But yeah, really good. DraftKings cannot make lines to save their lives, so screw you, DraftKings. By the way, Marcus McGhee. I do think he wins this fight. I do think. I do think Gaston Bolonis is To be honest, I think he's a bit one dimensional. I don't know if he can grapple at all. Not at all, but like very well. He has a good camp behind him. Um, he has some really good coaches behind him. Um, man, I don't know. I think Bolanos is striking. If he doesn't catch McGhee on the feet, I do think McGhee has them covered. So I'm gonna go with McGhee here by. I'm gonna go by submission or decision. I think he wins. I don't think he can TKO Bolanos, but I wouldn't be surprised also because Marcus McGhee is a beast. Moving on, we have Matthew Semelsberger versus Preston Parsons. Preston Parsons has very, very underrated skills. I think he isn't very good, but at the same time, he has some skills which can keep him around in this division if he keeps working away. He's a bit he's gonna keep coming at you. Um, I do think he's gonna wrestle heavy, Semelsberger, who's not notoriously a great wrestler. I think he's gonna outwork Semelsberger. I do think his striking is not as good as Semelsberger's. I like his jab, but other than that, I think Semelsberger can easily KO him. So the KO prop is always available for Semelsberger, but other than that, I feel like Preston Parson has him covered. Close fight, pass fight, but I'm gonna lean Parsons here. Moving on, we have Andre Arlovski versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Interesting fight. Honestly, I think Andre Arlovski needs to retire ASAP. He's about to get his 23rd loss. I think Waldo Acosta's only lost one time, and it was a close, or not close, but like you know, he still put a good accounting for himself. I just think the guy has what it takes to deal with the Andre Arlovski style. He's aggressive. He pressures forward. He lands big bombs. And I don't think Andre can handle Cortez's power at this stage in his career. So I'm going to go with Cortez by KO. Quite simple. Pretty straightforward card. I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. I'm gonna rock with Waldo here. I think it's a pretty safe spot. Negative 500 is pretty justified. I got him at negative 162. Again, DraftKings does not know how to make lines, so just take advantage of that. Moving on, we have Phil Hawes versus Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira is a tank of a man, and for that reason, I will be taking him, but I am not confident. I think Phil Hawes is a more skilled fighter. I just don't trust his chin at all. Bruno Ferreira got KO'd by a unknown Uzbekistan prospect, so I'll give him a little bit of a pass there. Whereas Phil Haas has been chinned on multiple occasions by multiple different guys. I do think this is a fun fight. I'm gonna go with Bruno Ferreira by KO after some exchanges in the first round. But to be honest, this could go a lot of different ways. I could see Phil Haas winning a decision or even a KO as well. So I'm going to go with Brito Ferreira here, but it is not a fight I want any action on. In fact, I have an arbitrage spot on both on Haas just to make money either way. So I'll be watching this one with popcorn. Moving on, we have Ricky Simone versus Mario Bautista. I honestly, there's somebody I know who likes Ricky Simone a lot, but I can't get behind Ricky Simone. He is just not that guy. I think Ricky Simone has a good skill set, very serviceable, can mix it up. But the problem is, I just feel like Mario Batista, other than the wrestling, has better striking than him, and he's on more sauce than him, which can help him in his deficiencies. I think Ricky's mindset, his cardio, and his wrestling will be his best asset in this fight. I just feel like Mario's wrestling is good, and I just feel like the streak that the MMA Lab is on right now. I don't feel like Ricky Simone's going to be able to you know, stop the hype train. But maybe he does, and maybe I'm just delusional in the hype of Mario Batista. But I think Mario Batista is very good. I think this can be a good fight. Moving on, we have Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. I'm gonna lean Jim Miller. I just think Jim Miller has that KO power, and I think Benitez is gonna need to kick often. I don't know, man. I like Miller here. I think Benitez is near the end of his prime. He's what is he, late 30s? Um, he's a double. He's just like Jim Miller, so they're both double digit. He's 35 years old. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jim Miller here. They're prepping him for a win for UFC 300. I can't imagine he loses this. I'll be very shocked if he does. But if Benitez kicks his way to a decision, I wouldn't be surprised also. So let's go, Jim. Let's get another win here for the history books. Moving on, we have Mateus Nicolau versus Manel Kape. Interesting rematch here. We have Manel Kape, probably the other fight I'm most excited for. I think Kape should cover this spot. Nicolau is coming off a brutal KO, so I expect him to be very tentative. I think Cap's gonna pressure forward, look for those openings. I do think Cap's gonna find success here again. I think he should have won the last one. I feel like he should win this one by landing the better shots and just, I don't know, controlling the center. I'm gonna go with Manel Cap here by unanimous decision. But it is a very interesting fight, and I'm not betting on it much. I have a little bit on Cap just because I was expecting the odds to swell for him, but they didn't, so I'm gonna ride it out. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight, man. I do like Nicolau, but I just think Cap is a very, very talented fighter, and I don't think Nicolau should have won that last fight. Moving on, we have Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. Really, really interesting fight here. Rematch again, two rematches. Ankalaev was on his way to winning the first fight, even though it was very, very early into the fight. But I feel like Johnny Walker got kneed illegally, and if he could have got a justifiably DQ win, to be honest, but he didn't for some reason. Ankalaev, you know, I feel like he has better wrestling. He has better fundamentals. But I just feel like the unorthodox style of Walker is just always hard to bet on or bet against. So I'm gonna go with Ankalaev again, but it is a fight that I want no part in. I just think Ankalaev wins. So I'm gonna go with Ankalaev here. I'm gonna go with him by KO or um, unanimous decision. But I doubt it will even see a decision. But yeah, guys, let me give you guys my top five picks. My number one pick of the card and the year so far is Gene Silva. Should be a lock. I don't see how he loses this other than fluke KO. My second most confident pick of the card is Waldo Cortez Acosta. I feel like that's a pretty safe pick. He's fighting an old man who is definitely needing to retire. Um, I think this is a really good spot. Let's see here. Next up, I'll have to go with Fareed Basharat. I feel like we're getting a little too much hype on Lapilus just for beating midget Colin. So I'll see what he does to a guy like Basharat. I don't think he can just because he's experienced. I don't think he's gonna beat Basharat. Next up, I have to go with Tom Nolan as my fourth most confident pick. I feel like Tom Nolan has a lot to prove, and with the things he's been saying, I do think he has the tools and the skill set to win. As long as he doesn't get caught, I feel like this is a pretty safe spot for him to win as well. Yeah. And then we go with I'm gonna go with Joshua Van actually over Marcus McGhee. I feel like Joshua Van is a bit more trustworthy. But it is very close. I could even have them tied almost. I just think Joshua Van has that, swagger right now. I mean, so does McGhee, but Bolanos is coming off a win streak. Bunes has had one win in I don't know how long. I'm gonna go with Joshua Van as my fifth most confident pick. This is a fun card, guys. I'm gonna have some posts coming up next tomorrow around 12 p.m. Eastern time. So keep out for those. I'll keep you updated on the week. LFA, 1FC, UFC. I'm glad to be back, guys. Let's kick off 2024 and crush it. Yeah, guys. I'll see you next time. I'm out.